Welcome to What the Tech, the show where we cut through the hype and get right to the inconvenient truths. Today we're tackling the 40-ton elephant in the room, the autonomous truck. Is this the future of logistics, or is it a complete disaster just waiting to happen? Let's dig in. So to really get this, we have to start with the person right at the heart of this whole thing, the American trucker. I mean, it is a grueling, often thankless job. But like Aaron Isaacs says here, it's an honest job. You earn your keep. But here's the thing. It's a job that a handful of very powerful tech companies are promising to either totally revolutionize or, just get rid of completely. Okay, so the promise, a better truck. Now ask yourself this. How do you sell a future that could wipe out millions of jobs? Well, you don't start there. No, you start with this really seductive vision. The pitch you see isn't about robots taking over. It's about making the truck better, safer, easier for a human to drive. And I'll add, for now.
So let's peek inside Volvo's brand new VNL. Seriously, this thing is wild. We're talking cameras that get rid of every single blind spot, adaptive cruise control that just handles traffic for you, automatic braking, an air suspension seat. I mean, the inside is basically a nice RV. You've got a bed, a table, a fridge, even a microwave. The message they're sending is crystal clear. Hauling 72,000 pounds should feel like a piece of cake. But you gotta ask, is that the whole story?
And here's the pitch, and this is where it gets really interesting from a business perspective. The long-haul trucking industry has a 90% annual driver turnover rate. No, that is not a typo. 90%. So the argument from companies like Volvo is, look, this tech isn't some fancy add-on. It's a survival strategy. The idea is, if you make the job less stressful, more comfortable, maybe, just maybe, you can convince drivers to stick around. But the real question is, for how long?
So that's the promise. Now for the reality. Fewer humans. It's a nice thought, right? Tech as the trucker's co-pilot. But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Because there's another truck out there. It looks almost exactly the same on the outside, but it tells a very, very different story about where this is all headed. Get this. The week after tech journalists are raving about that luxury VNL, Volvo quietly shows off another model. Looks the same from the outside, but you open the door and it's empty. There's no bed, no microwave, no TV, nothing. Why? Because this truck was never, ever designed for a human. And right there, that's the whole game. The pitch is a comfy cab for drivers with assistance to make the job easier. But the real goal is a cab with no driver at all, where autonomous systems make them obsolete. I mean, come on, you don't develop both of these at the same time by accident. The comfy cab is the Trojan horse. It's all about getting us used to the idea of an 80,000-pound machine flying down the highway with nobody inside.
And don't think for a second this is some sci-fi movie stuff that's decades away. It is happening right now. This is the Aurora Driver. It's a whole system of cameras, radar, and LiDAR, all designed to pilot a truck down the highway without any human input whatsoever. And guess what? It's already out there, hauling real cargo on real highways in states like Texas. The future is not coming, it's already here.
So what's it actually like to ride in one of these robot trucks? Well, A.J. Jenkins, who used to be a driving instructor for Aurora, probably put it best. And honestly, it's kind of chilling. He said it was boring. Think about that. The truck is so smooth, so courteous in traffic, so normal, that the absolutely terrifying idea of a driverless semi just becomes mundane. And that, right there, is exactly what they're banking on. Okay, time for a hype check on these safety claims. Look, the tech is impressive, no doubt, but when companies like Aurora start throwing around phrases like superhuman capabilities, yeah, that's a pretty bold claim. So, you know what time it is. It's time to do what we do here at What the Tech and cut through the marketing spin. So, Aurora is out there boasting about driving over 100,000 miles, hauling actual cargo with what they claim is a perfect safety record. And sure, on the surface, that sounds incredible, amazing even. But doesn't it also sound a little too good to be true? Which brings us to the real question. Is it a perfect safety record, or is it just perfectly hidden data? I mean, a perfect record is a fantastic line to feed to your investors. But for the rest of us, it means absolutely nothing without the one thing that matters. Proof. Where's the data? Where's the independent verification? Show us the receipts. Because here's all the stuff we're not seeing. We're not seeing the logs of when the human had to take over. We're not seeing the reports on near misses. There are no safety audits from anybody who doesn't have a financial stake in this. And what about bad weather? We have no idea how this thing handles snow or ice, or, total road chaos, like a tire fire or a crazy construction zone. We're just supposed to trust them? And yeah, that's not how we roll here.
Look, if you're tired of the hype and you think these are the kinds of hard questions we should be asking, then do me a favor. Hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to WtT. We're here to get you the real story, not the press release. All right, let's get down to the bottom line, economics. Because if this isn't really about making drivers' lives better, and if the safety claims are questionable, then what's it really about? Well, you already know the answer. It's about money. It's always about the money.
So you'll hear the marketing language. They say this is all about filling the least desirable jobs. Let me translate that corporate speak for you. The economic reality is that least desirable just means the long, boring, straight-shot highway routes. The ones that are easiest for a computer to drive, and also the most profitable. This isn't charity. Companies are pouring billions into this to remove humans from the most margin-rich routes, period. And then, of course, there's the new jobs fallacy. It's a classic. Step 1. They claim autonomy will create all these cool new jobs like remote monitoring. Step 2. The reality. Sure, some new jobs, but way fewer of them, all centralized in an office somewhere, and, surprise, they pay less. Which leads to the consequence. This is not a one-to-one replacement for a skilled career. It's a massive downgrade for the workforce.
But it doesn't stop there. Beyond the job losses and the sketchy safety data, we get into the unspoken risks. These are the huge, glaring questions about security and liability that, frankly, nobody in this industry wants to talk about.
Everyone always jumps to hacking, but the real security threats are so much more basic. A company will tell you their system is zero trust and can't be hacked remotely. Okay, great. But what about sensor spoofing? What about messing with its GPS signal? Or just good old-fashioned physical tampering at a truck stop? You don't need to be a super hacker to cause chaos. You just need to trick the truck's eyes and ears. And this is the stuff the hype machine just conveniently glosses over. There's no independent oversight body for this stuff, like the NTSB for a plane crash. Nobody can give you a straight answer on who pays when a driverless truck fails and someone dies. The pressure on small businesses, the owner-operators, it's going to be immense. And we're tossing out human intuition, that gut feeling that prevents a weird 1 in a million accident, for what? An algorithm.
So it all comes down to this, doesn't it? When you strip away all the marketing, all the promises, you have to ask the simple question: who really benefits from robot trucks? Who actually wins here? Because ultimately, the future of trucking isn't going to be won by the company with the fanciest cameras or the smartest AI. It's going to be won by contracts, by laws, and by public reporting that forces this technology to serve workers just as much as it serves corporate profit margins. It's up to us to demand transparency and real accountability before these 40-ton robots own the road. The future of an honest job and the safety of every single one of us on the highway really depends on it. Thanks for tuning in to What the Tech.